who loves my mug? Isn't this just such a great mug? I love koalas, so I'm just really loving this mug. I've got my cup of tea to like calm me down while I think about the stresses of med school. Hi friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day. If you're new here, hi, my name is Emily and I'm a final year medical student. I upload every Wednesday a mixture of like medical school vlogs, medical content, medical school related stuff, and then there's a bit of lifestyle chucked in there as well. A big hello to all the new subscribers, by the way. I know a lot of you have found me from my last medical school vlog, so big hello to you. Thank you so much for joining me along my journey. For those of you who are here for the med school vlogs, hopefully this video will still be of interest to you. And just to let you know, I will be vlogging my first day back at placement, which will be next Monday, the Monday after this video goes up, so there will be a medical school vlog of my first day back at placement up next week as well, so stay tuned for that. So today, as it's just been A-level results day, and I know there'll be a lot of people who are starting medical school, it's also that time of year, people in their final year of school will be applying to med school. I thought we'd have a chat about some of the things that I wish I'd known before med school, and some of them are probably not what you'd expect. Just before we get into it, I want to give a little shout out to Codex Anatomicus. They have kindly sent me these two lovely prints. So Codex Anatomicus are an anatomy art website. They have like all different types of anatomy artwork of all different body systems. There's brains, there's different organs, there's bones, and they have all different styles of artwork as well. So obviously I've gone for quite like floral prints here. They have hundreds and hundreds of designs. If you're interested in medical stuff, which I'm sure you are if you are subscribed, then definitely go check out Codex Anatomicus. I will leave a 20% off code here on the screen if you want to go pick something up, because I am literally obsessed with my two prints, and I'm gonna be putting this bad boy in my room because I think it's just so empowering. Like having a uterus is just like empowering woman vibes. Yes, with that all being said, let's just get into the video. So the biggest thing I wish I knew before I went to med school was the amount of travelling that you have to do. When I looked around Uni of Nottingham Open Day, there is like a hospital attached to the university, so from university campus you can just walk to the hospital and to the med school. And I think naively I just thought I'd be in that hospital for like all of med school, but no, we can be sent to hospitals in the next town in Derby, which is about an hour away. We can be sent to Mansfield, which is again about an hour away. We can be sent, like some of them 2 hours, an hour and a half away. So you do end up doing an awful lot of travelling, and this is like the same for whatever med school you go to, so it's not just Nottingham. So the way it works is essentially like you will change hospital when you change rotation. So you'll have like say so many weeks in one speciality while you're on placement. For example, obs and gynae, I was in one hospital, and then when I moved on to psychiatry I was in a different hospital. You end up sort of just having settled into a hospital, like the way its routine works, and then you're moved again. And I'm someone who likes being quite settled, so I did find it quite difficult to get used to sort of being in different places all the time. You sort of get used to one team of doctors and then you're having to introduce yourself to others. There's been times where I've been like 20 minutes walk down the road, which has been great because I can like pop back for lunch, but there's been times where I'm like been commuting like an hour in the car there and back each day, which obviously makes your day an awful lot longer and can be really tiring. I think the thing is at med school you do need a car, or you need to know somebody who has a car, because like you can get buses and trains to some of these places, to some of the hospitals, but obviously that makes things quite a lot longer. You do kind of need to know someone with a car, and most people like at uni, like it's never been a problem for people who don't have cars. Like you will live with someone who has a car or know someone who has a car and can drive. I think I know quite a few people who like got a car when they started clinical placement because they were like going to be doing a lot of driving, and I've definitely like grown in confidence with my driving, like having to drive places by myself. For the amount of travelling I've had to do is not something that I expected. I have had to do quite a bit of driving, but this does lead on to the next thing I wish I knew before med school was the hospital accommodation. So for some of the hospitals, if they're sort of over an hour away, like looking towards an hour and a half, you do get accommodation, and this is free. The hospital accommodation I have stayed in is pretty grim. It was not particularly pleasant, and I think the worst thing is as well, the hospital accommodation, it's in like little flats, so it's a bit like I suppose halls that you would have been in first year, where you'd have like a few rooms and then you'll have a communal like kitchen area. And sometimes you might not be in these flats with like other people on your course, it might be other people from the hospital, so like people who are working there. I know when I was in hospital accommodation accommodation. There was only one other med student in my flat that I was in. Like, there was just other people who were like working there who were a lot older and like I didn't know. But one of the positives of this is you get to experience lots of different hospitals, like lots of different environments of working, lots of different hospital trusts and how they work, and you get to see like some big major hospitals and some smaller community hospitals. In some aspects it can be really positive, and some people really like it. Some people like being away. That's just something that I personally like am not a huge fan of. So I thought I'd like move on now to something a little bit more positive that I didn't expect. You do not just make friends in first year, so there was a lot of moving around with different people. So I think when I was in first year I put a lot of emphasis on these are going to be my friends for life. I am gonna make my friends now, and I might not make any more friends. I guess I just thought you'd make your friends in first year and that was it. And while I'm still friends with everyone that I was friends with in first year, and some of my best friends are friends from first year, I've also made a lot of new friends that I otherwise wouldn't have met. Like some lovely people. Some of my closest friends are people that I have just met in the last couple of years because we have been put on placement together, and I otherwise probably wouldn't have met them. Right, next, the holidays. Med school holidays are a lot shorter than other courses. In the first 2 years I had the same holidays as everybody else at uni, and then from third year onwards my holidays have just gone downhill, where they are practically non-existent now. So between my third year and fourth year I had 3 weeks of summer holiday compared to the usual like 8 weeks that regular uni would get. So yeah, you like finish your exams, you have 3 weeks off, and then I went straight back into placement. I only got 2 weeks at Christmas instead of the usual 4 weeks, and no Easter holidays when usually at uni you get 4 weeks. I think that is just something you get used to, and also like you don't get those holidays when you have a regular working job. So right, the next thing is probably my biggest stress at med school, and I literally didn't know this before. So when you finish med school you are guaranteed a job as a doctor. So I know I will come out and get a job. I'm not in a situation where I'm having to, you know, search for jobs in my final year, which is very fortunate. But the way the system works means that you could in theory end up with a job anywhere in the country. So when you graduate med school you have to do 2 years working as a junior doctor, as I'm sure most of you know. So you have to do those 2 years before you can then, you know, apply for speciality. So if you wanted to be a GP or whatever, you could apply after that. So the country is split into 20 locations, which I will put here. You rank from 1 to 20 your preferences of where you would like to be in the country as a job, and then you are placed a job accordingly depending on how well you do at med school, which is very stressful, because if you want to be in a certain area for maybe family, friends, partner, it's not like you can just be like, I want a job in X location, I'm just going to keep applying till I get a job there and keep looking for a job there. If you don't get the job there, you haven't got your junior doctor jobs there for 2 years, and in theory you could end up anywhere in the country. Now for most people that doesn't happen. Most people probably tend to get in their top 5 because obviously some places are less competitive than others, but it is very stressful knowing that how well you do in med school is dictating where you get a job. Now you may think, oh, that seems like really fair, you get guaranteed a job, and yeah, it's like really great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm so thankful that I'm guaranteed a job when I come out of med school, and a good job at that. This just leads on to my next point. It's not easy to be to do really well at med school, and what I mean by this is if you are someone who is at medical school, you are probably most likely have performed very well at the school. So someone who's getting like 3 A's and maybe even some A stars here in the UK, like you're probably performing like one of the top performing students of your school. And then you go to med school and you're put with everyone who's the top performing students of your school. So I was someone at school who was like one of the top students in my classes for the subjects that I was studying, and then you go to med school and you're suddenly like way down the pile. Sometimes people say to me like, oh, but you're so smart, like you're studying medicine. But then like I don't really feel that smart compared to the people that I'm studying with, who are like amazing and just know everything. So yeah, it can be really hard not to compare yourself to other people and how well they're doing. This leads on to my last point, which I just want to really stress to anyone who is a current medic, future medic, or is just interested in med school, because I think this applies to everything. It's taken me quite a while to learn that you cannot and will not know everything, because medicine is so vast. You just can't know everything, and you just have to accept that. And you can try learn everything, but there will always be something that comes up in an exam that you have literally never heard of before. I think it's just something like, it took me a very long time to accept that, because at school you're sort of given like a syllabus for your exams. If you follow this, if you learn this, you'll be able to pass your exams. Whereas with medicine, it's sort of just like, here's a textbook, learn it. Like, you just can't know everything. I hope this hasn't come across as like too much of a negative video, but these are like the realities of what med school is like. But this is not to deter anyone from like going to med school. Like, I've had an amazing time. I wouldn't change my experiences. I think they have built me up into the person that I am at the moment. And I know like in 5 years time, when I'm a doctor or whatever, I'm gonna look back at this time and think like med school was some of the best times. Like, why was I complaining about it? So it just builds you up into like the future doctor that you would want to be. If you don't follow my Instagram, go follow me on there, because I post medical content up on there as well. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and of course hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys, stay safe.